So it's been a while since Shingeki no Kyojin, aka Attack on Titan, was released to the English-speaking audience. It's been making quite a buzz, being something of a high popularity and overall nice fandom. But being the cynical person I am, I can't help but to think that something getting this popular extremely quickly is either a fluke or overrated. Well, I was wrong. Attack on Titan is not only an anime I'm soaking a lot of time in, like One Piece, but I just love it. But why? Why do I like it so much? Why, in a nutshell, is my cynical personality bunkering away to let me enjoy something that's new? So, let's see. Before anything, I guess I should give a quick synopsis. A sort of a feel to what's going on. And this is all coming straight from the wiki. Several hundred years ago, humans were nearly exterminated by Titans. Titans are typically several stories tall, seem to have no intelligence, devour human beings, and worst of all, seem to do it out of pleasure, basically, for food source. A small percentage of humanity survive by putting themselves in a city protected by extremely high walls, even taller than the biggest Titan. Flash forward to the present day. There has been no Titan sightings in over 100 years. A teenage boy named Aaron and his foster sister, and excuse me if I butchered his name, named Mikasa, witnessed something horrific as the city walls are being destroyed by a colossal Titan that appears out of thin air. As the smaller Titans flood the city, the two kids witness in horror as their mother is eaten alive in front of them. Aaron vows that he will murder every single Titan and take revenge for all humanity. You know, I was watching an episode of The Fine Bros. It was teens react to Attack on Titan. And there was one chick who called the anime confusing. And I don't really get why people say that. Even starting from the middle of the freaking thing, which I didn't, you can still take a pretty good blind shot on what's going on. Giant humanoid creatures are here eating humans. They're trying to find out why. That's it. It's not astrophysics or bomb defusal. Just shut up, take a seat, and listen. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there for a second. So, yeah, that's the basic story on the anime. While the anime has the usual loads and loads of characters packed in like sardines, I rather like how things are handled. It's not just, here's some existing characters, let's juggle them around like a bingo ball machine, and see who we get to shove into the spotlight. These characters who are introduced actually reappear and have purpose. Unless they fucking die, then you won't be seeing much of them anymore. Like said above, there are tons of characters, but the anime seems to have a steady focus, i.e. the ones who will get the most screen time, on three main characters. Eren Yeager, Mikasa Ackerman, and Armin Arlet, because alliterations are freaking awesome. Eren, at first glance, has the typical shonen character personality of being brash and hot-headed, but you got to understand where he's coming from. The poor boy's mother was eaten in front of him by a terrifying monstrosity, so he has a reason for hating Titans. Seriously, look at this fucking thing. Mikasa is a personal favorite. Not because she's attractive, but because she's a female character in an anime that can fend for herself, isn't a set of boobs and an ass to bounce around a room, and generally isn't sexualized to the point of facepalm worthy. This goes for pretty much all the female characters who get screen time, which is something I quickly applauded. Armin at first came off as a little whiny, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't find him annoying. But again, this will come up a bunch of times as the review goes on. you have to think of the situation these characters are in. Yes, these scary looking motherfuckers get their own personal spot. Normally, in most media, assailants such as this would be casted off as the antagonist, only serving as those things that we're supposed to kill because they're evil. But I like the in-depth look into these creatures. Not only are they the main obstacle in the series, but they have such an interesting story behind them. Being described as simple, unintelligent creatures who are easy to fool or distract. The most interesting thing to me is that they're so unpredictable and have different categories. You see, the type of Titan is categorized by height instead of appearance, really. So typically Titans can be no more than 3 meters at the least and 15 meters at the most. The series introduced the unusual types, which are Titans you won't be seeing much of. The Deviant and the Titan Shifter stand out for me at the most. On one hand, you have a Titan that doesn't seem to have much interest in humans rather than causing damage to the surroundings and humans. On the other, you have humans that can transform into Titans. I'll try to keep as much of this spoiler free to only reveal Eren as the first that we've seen to have this ability. You can't really call it a spoiler because it's introduced very early in the manga/anime. One of the running things everyone has come to the conclusion on is the helplessness of today's youth. This really isn't wrong in a nutshell, considering most of the focus is on the cast of characters who seem to be in their teens or young adult years. You know, kind of like around my age, 19. These people are thrown into an environment they aren't ready for and expected to hold their own. They have to face up and fight if they want to protect what they have or what's left, of course. It really does parallel us as young people. How some of us can vote but feel as if our voice doesn't matter in a world we think we're ready for, but it's too big. This anime does not hold your hand. There is no hand holding in this anime. Very rare does a character die off screen. Most are outright eaten by Titans close up. They turn on each other when they feel overwhelmed, commit suicide because they can't handle this anymore. Grown men and women break down and cry under the pressure. This is exactly how our ridiculously overpowered, pathetically obvious power fantasy games should play out. And I mean, hell, I wouldn't even call this a war. It's more or less survival. Trying to cling onto the last bit of humanity, knowing that the world outside of the walls is nothing but a wasteland of creatures trying to kill you. All of this could come off as pretentious, smug, even arrogant, but the creators handle it in such a mature way that you can't help but to feel big when you watch it. It's so triumphant when characters actually smile and cheer on the moments when the mission is accomplished. I remember feeling happy when seeing Eren, aka the Rogue Titan, lift that giant boulder to block the wall. I felt a sense of euphoria, and I feel the excitement from these characters when something goes right, when something just happens and it's happy. It's a happy moment, but it feels all the more crushing and deafening when the feeling of dread and sorrow comes in and hits you with such an impactful feeling when something goes wrong. Most people, even anime fans, probably won't feel the same way I did as I was watching this, but this is highly recommended. The dark themes can turn a lot of people off, and in all honesty, it's not for everyone. I was ashamed of myself of writing this off as another overrated piece of trash, like I did with Fairy Tail, which I now like. If you can sit down and embrace this great acting for original and dub, great characters, an interesting threat, and above all, a sense of awesomeness throughout, you're going to enjoy every minute of Shingeki no Kyojin. You're going to enjoy every single moment of triumph, and even enjoy some of the darker things, like characters getting killed, because it makes you feel as if your life is worth something. This is Grand Retro Circus. Have a good day.